What's up, captains? We are going to head into the store right now to find some foods that are labeled as healthy um, and do a little deeper dive to see if they actually are healthy. So you'll see. Come on. All right, so when you go into a store, try to avoid all the aisles. So what you should do instead is shop the perimeters. So like the produce, that's usually where you're going to find the good stuff. So although we're going to go on the perimeter right now, and this perimeter is not very good. So let's see what's over here. All right, so although the perimeter of the store is usually better for you, as you can see, this perimeter is not very good. So in my hand, I have bread. So a lot of people think bread can be healthy if they get like organic whole grain or whole wheat. And that's what this one is. This is organic, 100% whole wheat. But you have to realize that bread is still bread. So it's gonna spike your blood sugar. It's high glycemic. So if you turn it over on the back and look at the ingredients, they add sugar to it and molasses, which is again just sugar. And now with this one says on the package healthy multigrain. Again, it's high glycemic bread. And then we look at the back and the ingredients of this, and it's got soybean oil, so a bad oil, and also sugar. So I don't know about you, but I don't want sugar and bad oils in my bread. Okay. Fruit snacks, delicious, but not healthy. So on the package, it says fruit is our first ingredient, vitamin C, vitamins A and E, fat-free, gluten-free, no preservatives. So fat-free is not something that you should be like looking for. Okay, there's nothing necessarily wrong with fat. What you want to be avoiding is the processed carbohydrates. Okay. And so let's turn around and look at the ingredients here. So fruit puree, so it is technically their first ingredient, but then next ingredient, we got corn syrup. Next, sugar. So, I mean, don't be fooled by anything you see on the front of the package. Always check the ingredients. All right, so a lot of people probably think that this would be a good post-workout drink, but if you check the ingredients, it's mostly casein protein, which is not good for post-workout. Also, canola oil and sunflower oil. So that's just going to cause inflammation, and that's not what we want.
Go ahead.
All right, this one really grinds my gears. So I can't believe it's not butter. There's nothing wrong with butter, okay? Preferably get a grass-fed butter, but please do not get this. So, all right, the ingredients of I can't believe it's not butter with olive oil. So, soybean oil, palm kernel and palm oil, and then olive oil. So, this stuff is this is all bad fats, minus the olive oil, but it's not a high ingredient. Just get regular butter. Even if it's not grass-fed, you're way better off using regular butter than this crap. Okay. All right. Next up, we got veggie straws. So just because it says veggie doesn't mean you're eating vegetables, right? So on the front, it says contains the following vitamin values of veggies. So it means it contains the vitamins in these vegetables, but not necessarily the actual vegetables. Okay. And then, so let's turn around, look at the ingredients. Potato starch and dehydrated potato. So first ingredient is a high glycemic food. It's going to spike your blood sugar, potatoes. And then we have bad oils, sunflower oil and safflower oil. So again, things that you don't want in your chip. All right, next up we got something pretty seemingly healthy. So nuts, nutrition, heart health power squares. Looks pretty good from the packaging. It's got cashews, blueberries, almonds. Sounds good. Turn it over. Let's see. So they add brown rice syrup, which is just sugar, and also evaporated cane syrup, sugar, and then peanut oil. So how can something that has added sugars and bad oils be good for your heart? It's not. Next up, we got oatmeal. So oatmeal can be good. I eat oatmeal, but just make sure the oatmeal that you get doesn't have any added sugars in it or anything else. It should be just plain oats, right? So here's something that most people would probably think is healthy. Organic, 100% whole grains, no GMO, project verified. So looks good, but then we turn it over and they add sugar. So if you're eating oatmeal, you don't want any of the added sugar because oatmeal is a slow release carb, whereas sugar is a high release carb. It just spikes your blood sugar. So no sugar in your oatmeal. All right, next up, we got a Cliff Bar. So you just finish a long workout, Spartan race, whatever it is, you grab one of these. So based on the advertising, 20 grams of protein, says low glycemic, non-GMO ingredients. So now let's check the ingredients. Soy protein isolate. So anything with soy protein, you want to stay far away from. Okay, it'll give you tits. It's not good stuff. Stay away from anything soy protein. And then we got beet syrup, organic brown rice syrup, organic cane sugar. So how can it be low glycemic if there's sugar in it, right? Doesn't really add up. And then next up we got palm kernel oil. So a bad oil, not something that we want, right? So keep reading. We got sunflower oil, more sunflower oil, organic soy protein. Not good stuff in here, okay? Stay away from the Cliff Bars. All right, next up, we got cereals. So you might go to the store, grab some Special K, be like, oh, I'm making a healthy decision. I'm not grabbing the Lucky Charms, right? But in reality, it's the same thing, right? So all cereals are going to be high glycemic, right? Which means it just spikes your blood sugar, not something you want, right? First thing when you wake up in the morning. And then we check the ingredients, and we got corn syrup, so sugar, palm kernel oil, bad oil, not something we want, and brown rice syrup, rice flour, so just sugar. So although they might advertise it as like powering your strength, no. All right, here we have Activia. So I'm sure you've seen a commercial about how this is good for you, but if we check the ingredients, let's see, the second ingredient is cane sugar. So I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse now. If you want to get yogurt, don't get yogurt with added sugar in it. All right, next up, we got juices, all types of juice. But specifically, well, not specifically, but in this case, orange juice. So you might go out to breakfast, grab a glass of orange juice. You might think you're being healthy because it's from oranges, which it is. But in the morning, if you haven't worked out, why do you need to spike your blood sugar? So fruit is something you should be having after a workout. And what you're getting from the orange juice is literally just a bunch of sugar. So, and because it's juice, you can just drink so much of it. All right, next up, we got pre-made dinners. So anything that's going to be frozen that you can just put in the microwave and heat up. So here we got lean cuisine, Alfredo pasta with chicken and broccoli. So you might think, yeah, good choice, chicken, broccoli, but the pasta. So if you're eating this, I'm imagining it would be for dinner, and you haven't worked out, there's no reason to have pasta. Pasta is a processed food that just spikes your blood sugar, and there's no real need for us to look at the ingredients because it's pasta. Like, don't have pasta unless you just finished working out. Not something you should be doing. All right, next up we got crackers. So here we have 100% whole grain wheat thins, and then it says reduced fat, 25% less fat. So if your goal is to lose fat, fat is not something that you should necessarily be worrying about. You should be worrying about the refined and processed carbohydrates, which is what wheat thins are. That's what crackers and chips and all that stuff is. So I mean, we don't even need to look in the ingredients. We already know what it's going to be, but sugar and canola oil. So both two of the things that you want to completely cut out if you're trying to lose weight. So again, don't worry about the fat, worry about the processed carbs. All right, so I know I've said this a million times, but with anything that says grass-fed, you want to make sure that it says either 100% grass-fed or grass-fed and finished. So this particular product here says organic grass-fed on the front. You might think, yeah, that's great, but check on the back. There's nothing that says 100% grass-fed. So always make sure it's 100% grass-fed. All right, so next up we got mayonnaise. So most people, I mean, I hope most people know that mayonnaise isn't necessarily that healthy, but it can be if you use the right kind of oil. So this mayonnaise says it's made with olive oil, but then we flip it over on the back and it's got canola oil in it. So they cut it to make it less expensive. So, all right, so now we got dressings. So most people think that they're doing good by eating a salad, being healthy, but then they just dump a bunch of dressing on it, which can be good if you get the right kind of stuff. So you might go to the store and see this with olive oil and say, oh, that sounds pretty good. But then here we turn it over and it says sugar and canola oil. So just be careful with which dressing you're choosing. All right, so to recap, shop the perimeter of the aisles, but that doesn't mean that everything on the perimeter is good, right? So like the bread and stuff is on the perimeter. So just because I say perimeter of the aisle doesn't mean, oh, bread's okay. Snowballs, yep. Hostess cupcakes, no. Like go to the produce. Anything that's not like packaged in a wrapper is generally good. And if you do get stuff that's packaged, don't trust the marketing on the front. Again, that's just the marketing doing their job, trying to get you to buy it, right? Grab your attention. Always make sure to turn over, check the ingredient labels. And fat doesn't make you fat, so don't worry about reducing your fat. Worry about reducing the refined and processed carbohydrates, right? So things like those added sugars, right? And stay away from all crappy oils.